you want to get a law passed, you need to do legislative advocacy. That means lobbying your elected officials to try to get them to vote the way you want them to vote, and even potentially be a sponsor on the legislation that you're trying to get passed. And lobbying legislators is just like building any relationship. You want to meet and connect with them first before you make a big ask. Right now, which if you're watching this in the summer, maybe not, but if you're watching this in the summer, this is a great time to talk with your elected officials because it's not close to the election. They're not in the legislative session, but they're out in their communities, and it's a great time to connect with them when they're not so busy and they don't have as much on their plate. You can reach out to them via email, try to set up a meeting with them. I will note really quick, if they don't respond to email, don't get discouraged. You can text them too. A lot of the legislators, the numbers that they have online are their personal cell phone numbers. So if you text them, they may respond to that too. So if they don't respond to your email, do something else. It doesn't mean they're ignoring you. But anyway, let's say you've reached out to them, requested a meeting, introduced yourself, said what the issue is that you care about and what you want to talk to them about with. Go to that meeting prepared. You want to ideally have a flyer with some key facts and statistics about the problem you're wanting to solve. And if you already have your goal law identified, with some information about your goal law. You want to also be prepared to share your story about why you're passionate about this issue, why it has personally impacted you or people that you care about. After that meeting, I'm sure it went really well. You want to follow up with the legislator with an email thanking them, and you want to stay in contact with them. After that initial meeting, you want to be sure if you see any news articles or something about the problem you're trying to solve, share that with them. If you're having an event, invite them to the event. And you also, this is really important, you want to make sure you want to do it, you want to ask them for specifically what you want them to do, which is to support that goal law. Some people are intimidated to ask legislators to vote a certain way or to sponsor a bill, but it really is important because they're not mind readers. They can't guess what they need to do if you don't tell them, and there's a ton of lobbyists at the state capitol telling them exactly what they want, and they're more likely to get it because they are. So be sure that you make that ask in the end to connect with them and get them to actually support the bill that you want them to support or even be a sponsor of the bill. There are different ways you can connect with legislators and identify which legislators to connect with. A good place to start is your own elected officials in your community, but you can also go on the Arkansas Legislature's website and see past bills that have been filed that are similar to what you want to get passed, or talk about the problem you're trying to address, and see who sponsored those bills and reach out to them because they obviously already care about your issue. They already have some familiarity with it. And so they may be excited to have this conversation with you about this opportunity to pass this